All right, welcome everyone to our May EngRes The Gathering. It's been a pretty epic last 2 months, so excited to run through it. Here's our agenda for the day. As always, you can follow along with the slides as we go through. Feel free to leave comments for people, ask questions. You can also ask questions in the chat as we go along. We have awesome project updates from a whole ton of different projects across the whole PL network. And then we have a couple of spotlights. Definitely, given we have a slightly shorter agenda, more space for Q&A, which will be great. And then we'll have a deep dive on Edge City and the Neuro events that are coming up in the beginning of June, which is going to be great. As a reminder, if you're here for the first time, welcome. Protocol Labs drives breakthroughs in computing to push humanity forward. We're a decentralized innovation network made of tons of different projects, companies, organizations, all united by trying to accelerate the development of new research breakthroughs and productionization in a number of different computing verticals that teams focus on. We span the entire R&D pipeline. Many of these projects are continuing to break new ground with users or help productionize really exciting research projects all the way through to large-scale adoption. So congrats to teams as they continue to gain new users and use cases and widespread adoption. In this working group in particular, our goal is to support and accelerate the kind of engineering and research community inside Protocol Labs to help accelerate these network breakthroughs. We do this by sharing some of the latest breakthroughs on how protocols are upgrading their utility capability. We support all of the network native research and development that is happening across many different teams and projects. And we try and help them grow by growing their open source communities, their networks, the contributors who are working on them, and interconnecting them so that people know what's going on where. Couple recent things to spotlight. I don't know if folks saw, but there was an awesome launch of the use of the cross-chain data bridge by Avalanche over the last couple of days. Huge congrats to the Phil B team who helped build and productionize and enable that cross connection. But a lot of folks in Avalanche who are building on the C chain are pretty excited to take advantage of more of these on-chain primitives, which is great to see. We also will have an update later in this around the Filecoin network version 25, which shipped with a whole ton of goodies in, I think it was end of April, F3, simpler termination fees, and more. And then we also have proof of data possession now live as a hot storage proof on Filecoin mainnet, and it's getting some even newer goodies on Calibration Net over the next couple of weeks. So exciting progress being made here. We also had a lot of really awesome network gatherings over the last 2 months. There was a gathering in Dubai alongside Token 2049. There was a PL Network Founders Dinner. There was a lot of great conversations, and the events were absolutely packed. There was a Deepin Day and others. And there were also a ton of events just 2 weeks ago in Toronto alongside Consensus, another PL Network Founders Dinner, Filecoin Dev Summit number 6. Crazy that we're up to 6 of those now, and a great network hub that had all sorts of investor office hours, podcasts, a Frodobots pop up, and tons of other network gatherings and connections. So we've been busy in this corner of the world. A couple of exciting things coming up that you're going to hear more about. Nikki's going to give us an update on the PL Genesis Modular Worlds Hackathon, which I know we are all very excited about, and many teams here are participating, have prizes, are mentoring, and helping engage new contributors. There's $250,000 in prizes or more, and get involved now, and also tell all your friends if they're looking for a hackathon that they can participate in. We would love, many startups have come out of this or the preview or the early version of this hackathon series. So it's a 1-month long hackathon. Sorry, I'm stealing Nikki's thunder, but I'm very excited about this, and I think all of you should be too. Filecoin Services, I'm also very excited about this, is really targeted toward builders in the hackathon as a first crew of users to early preview beta test the Filecoin Synapse SDK so that you can do on-chain storage and retrieval flows using the new Phil CDN, using proof of data possession, using on-chain paid deals. So a lot of new things in Filecoin land. If you want to be an early user and builder on some of these new on-chain tools, taking advantage of some of the new releases that are coming out in the next 2 weeks and joining the Modular Worlds Hackathon are great ways to see the newest stuff when it's hot off the presses. We'll also be getting a deeper dive on Edge Esmeralda. If you didn't get to attend Edge Esmeralda last year, it was amazing. It's a beautiful community gathering. There's been a number of PL Network gatherings at Edge City pop-up cities, but it's officially underway. It kicked off on May 24th, and there's gonna be a lot of network gathering points. If you want to learn about AI, neurotech, longevity, speakers and thought leaders from across these different communities are gathering in this beautiful, sunny, idyllic California city to co-live, co-work, co-learn together. And I'll be stopping by middle of next week. So you should all jump by if you possibly get a chance to stop by Northern California. It's beautiful. Last but not least, for our European friends, there's another PL Network gathering that's going to be happening around Berlin Blockchain Week. A lot of different events, Funding the Common, Protocol Berg. I think there's a network hub and a lot more. So go see your friends in Berlin. It's also a gorgeous time of year in Berlin to go and enjoy. Speaking of events, there is a new has all sorts of great integrated functionality for seeing who else is coming to major events. I really recommend taking a look at the PL Network events directory and using it to register for upcoming events so you can see your buddies and make sure that you're attending all of the network meetups where you can work with others effectively. Other things that weren't already listed, we have ETH Global Prague, which is kicking off tomorrow. Exciting. If you're in Prague, go check it out. There's also a Code and Corgi meme-a-thon that's happening in Prague. And then, of course, there's ECC that is happening in Cannes, France, June 30th to July 3rd. So some exciting network gatherings. Definitely find the opportunity to go meet up with your network buddies. All right, with that, I'll hand it over to Manu for libp2p and project updates.
Thank you so much, Molly. Really appreciate it. Wish to share some of the very interesting updates on libp2p front, and also thank Molly, for being a continuous supporter of us in all our virtual libp2p day events. libp2p is essentially a modular network stack for peer-to-peer protocols, which basically powers at the infrastructure level, powers Filecoin, Ethereum, a lot of layer 1 and layer 2 networks. And it's essentially one of the projects which is currently available in 13 different languages and growing further. And wish to add a new edition also. Great. So I wish to share some interesting libp2p community updates. Wish to share that we had massive set of community PRs and also PRs by the maintainers over the last set of weeks. We have updates on WebSockets and WebRTC on GoLibp2p and JSLibp2p. Also been working on the NAT traversal front. In JSLibp2p, we'll have also an Electron D app by the name of libp2p Inspector, which will be published soon. Great work by Alex. Wish to also share that we have a new candidate now in the Beam Chain project, which is CLibp2p module. This has been added just a month back, and it is already seeing a very good traction in the Beam Chain project. You could see the screenshot on the right where both ZigLibp2p and CLibp2p are there. Wish to share that in reference to ZigLibp2p, it was interestingly created by Marco in a Brussels event of Filecoin, and it has really gotten from there to a stage which is very interesting. ZigLibp2p also has some very nice contributions by Optimism. In reference to PyLibp2p, wish to share that we had 3 releases since the last EngRes event, and we have been able to accomplish all the core modules, which was shared by Joanne, Molly, the virtual libp2p days. Fantastic contributions by Paul from Ethereum Foundation. He has really done excellent maintenance work. Great efforts by Dave, by PLDG team. We have really seen the project taking off to the next front. On the NIM libp2p team, effort front, we have really seen some great efforts on gossip sub performance measurements, and we have been able to do that simulation using Shadow Simulator. Now we are Dockerizing and productionizing it. They also have been doing fantastic work on transport interop. And also on the CPP libp2p front, we have seen some fantastic set of uptakes in their Ethereum Beacon project. So we are feeling that it's not just Filecoin, but also Ethereum, which would help us scale this project as we scale forward, and with a lot of interop things coming both at the transport level as well as at the general level. Wish to also share some great work by Rust libp2p team as well. We look forward to seeing some of their work getting productionized in the coming weeks, specifically to Kademlia. Yeah, wish to share the next slide with you. I mean, this interestingly features on the left side, we have Molly. I mean, she was a guest at Virtual Lib P2P Day. We had a fantastic day. We also have weekly maintainer meetings. Sometimes we have wonderful guests like Juan. I mean, he really spent some time and shared some pointers. He was there in the Virtual Lib P2P Day also. This is also a screenshot from there. We are now available on all the communities you can think of. I mean, Dave organizes these meetings in a very friendly and a very interesting manner. We do see a lot of participation in some of the maintainer meetings. We do stretch up till 3 to 4 hours. It's like you can join the meeting. There's no point of leaving the meeting because there's always discussion that you have to continue. I'm sharing the QR code on the top. You can please join our next set of maintainer meetings. We look forward to seeing you over there. Yeah, this is a very interesting initiative on the adoption front, which Dave has started. This is on, interestingly, teaching lib P2P with the 3-hour workshops. It will be localized in 20 different languages. 2 of the languages, I'll also be localizing it in Hindi as well as in Sanskrit, which I'm aware of, along with English. Wish to share that, I mean, this particular workshop will be a good way of having a new set of developers work on core projects like NAT Traversal, Gossip Serve, Quick, and also contribute on universal connectivity DApp implementation. Here you can see my localization that I did in Hindi in this specific project. So this specific tool will be available very shortly, I think by the next EngRes meeting, and we look forward to having your feedback on it. Yeah, so just wish to share quick. I would not like to take much more time because I would like to share time with others as well. But yeah, some transport layer improvements. Wish to specifically thank friends in Storacha for really helping us productionize some of the use cases that we're trying out in lib P2P. We are doing a lot of work with them. Juan shared some fantastic improvements on Quick that we should productionize. We have achieved some of those. And also on the web RTC front, as you can see, we have some of these things coming along nicely. Storacha Telegram mini app is one of those projects where we wish to kind of demonstrate some of these use cases in a very nice manner using WebRTC as a core protocol, as a transport layer protocol. Yeah, so this is the final slide, which is also a call for developers. This is interestingly by Juan at the virtual lib P2P day. Fantastic set of pointers and discussions on how we should evolve lib P2P and really mature the whole project. Wish to share, we are looking for Swift developers and Kotlin developers to scale up the mobile efforts. Me and Dave have already started that. And thanks so much, Molly, for sharing us a good set of pointers when we started the maintenance of the project. And also wish to share that Dave has been really spearheading this whole initiative on the community front in a very nice manner. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Manu. Clearly tons happening in the lib P2P project. And I know a lot of opportunities for more people to get involved. So go get started. Over to Mosh, I think, for IPFS and roadmap.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to talk about IPFS, which hopefully most of you are familiar with. It's the data and content stack for Web3 and beyond. And people come to IPFS for 3 main things. The first is content addressing primitives that make the internet more verifiable and secure. The second is this open public network that can reach beyond, brittle access or internet outages or censorship. The third is being able to creatively spin up different clusters of computers that can talk to each other in a peer-to-peer fashion and exchange data more efficiently and securely. So we are working, as before, on 3 major work streams: adoption, meaning gaining market share of total internet traffic. B is building blocks, making more modular components that solve real user and dev needs, kind of reflecting how the community is driving the project on their own. C, community and governance, especially getting adopted into internet standards. So, this can proliferate across the whole web. And D is a download-free IPFS benefits to anyone across the web, whether or not they know about installing nodes or plugins or anything like that. So there's been a lot of fantastic progress. Blue Sky continues to grow. It hit 36 million users this month. And I think the biggest impact is that it continues to represent an interest in content addressing independent of network design. And that community is one of the biggest drivers, but not the only driver, of new community-built tools for cars, CIDs, and other content addressing primitives. AtQt, for example, just released support for streaming cars. Risky SatNav has released a car file viewer and explorer, so people can understand what data systems like AppProto have, and can be shared across other open social networks. We recently awarded 3 small to mid-sized grants for data utilities, and they'll be sharing the results of their projects at the end of July in the next CID Congress. Another big announcement is that HTTP is here. And you might think that HTTP and IPFS are polar opposites, but in fact, there's a lot of benefits to be had by increasing support for HTTP across the stack. So Kubo 35 now supports HTTP retrieval as an opt-in option. This is going to make it easier to integrate IPFS node systems and networks with the rest of the web. There are still some open questions around the DHT and announcing, but we're targeting switching to HTTP by default towards the end of this year. BitSwap will still remain supported. It'll be more efficient in some cases, especially private networks, but we're planning to support both in parallel so that IPFS can make its way further on the web. There's a lot more about this and some issues that I'll link. And then it also means we have to revisit HTTPS support, especially for Filecoin storage providers. So those are things that we'd love to work together with the rest of the Protocol Labs network so that we can bring content addressing to the world. I also want to highlight for anyone that uses IPFS add in Kubo, it got a huge performance speed up, 20 to 40x was the benchmark. Thanks to a motivated user who filed an issue, and then the Shipyard team, including Andrew Gillis, who kind of made this all happen. Check it out. It's awesome. We love speed. Drop-in service worker, check that out. It means that you basically, the browser can handle peer-to-peer, intercept and then handle peer-to-peer connections without having to install a separate node. Really a game changer in terms of IPFS in browsers. Last couple things, IP&I service degraded a bit in April. It's now coming back to full service, and there's an ongoing content routing working group meeting every 2 weeks. So that's another, challenge that we want to work with, not just to restore our current service, but also to look at how we want routing to work in the next few years once the immediate emergency has been fixed. In Berlin in June, we have big content addressing energy. We'll be at lots of different events. We're hosting Hashberg, which is a technical summit. I'll drop the link to Luma. Would love to see you there. And then I didn't even touch on any of the cool stuff happening with data utilities, because Robin's going to speak in the next slide about that.
And indeed, very well teed up. Hey, everyone, it's good to see you. So mostly I'm going to dive into like specific areas of what Mosh just described by giving a very brief update on Dazzle. Dazzle, for those who don't know it, is a set of IPFS and IPFS compatible primitives, ideas, tools, and specs that's really, really ruthlessly focused on adoption and interoperability. We're really pushing it to make it super easy to pick it up. Don't make me think, don't make me reinvent the wheel, don't make me configure anything, just get it off the shelf and run with content addressing. We're focusing primarily on archival and web contexts. Everything in Dazzle matches, not everything in Dazzle, but the parts of Dazzle that are inherited from IPFS directly match what's used in AT-Proto, which means that whenever we improve things, it helps the AT-Proto toolbox and vice versa, which is leading to a great dynamic. We also are famous for our outstanding work on acronyms. The specs involve Dazzle, Razzle, Mazzle, Drizzle, and more to come. You can find out more at Dazzling, which is also, and I've got Bedazzle, one of my favorites. And as part of this drive towards interop and adoption, we're also very interested in testing. As Mosh mentioned, there's ongoing work on that, and we're starting to see some impact from that compliance work that's showing us some nice results and showing us what works well with what and what doesn't, where we need fixes and where we need to be more precise. And this has also helped us develop an internet draft that is seeing some modest success, and so far no significant pushback at the IETF. We'll be representing it there in mid-July at the next IETF meeting in Madrid, where we hope not to get clobbered into a pulp as happened last time. It's a challenging environment. It's mostly, I would say, respectfully, a rather aging community. But I'm confident that we're taking the right steps to bring this to them. And so yeah, reach out if there's anything that you're interested in the Dazzle verse, or if there's any part of the IPFS ecosystem really where you feel that some focus on interop and adoption could help. Awesome.
Great updates, and cool to see Dazzle going to internet draft. And I know you also had some ED 2551 Nike success more recently. So excited to see some progress there. Filecoin project update. I think I'm kicking this one off. If you haven't heard of Filecoin, it's a crypto-powered storage network, largest decentralized storage network in the world, aiming to make humanity's information accessible, useful, and be a robust foundation for its storage. We had our Filecoin Dev Summit, I guess, is it 2 weeks ago at this point? Time is hard. These are some of the top KPIs that we are focused on and pushing towards as a Filecoin community, really focused around core adoption and utility of Filecoin services and onboarding paying customers for them. So a big movement over the next 6+ months is helping move a lot of the existing payments for Filecoin storage on chain, so that we have on-chain visibility for Filecoin revenue and the value of the storage deals that are being sold. We're also, of course, growing the number of happy Filecoin service clients that are building on and with Filecoin. And so making sure that we have new growing clients in the network, that they are happily able to use some of the new on-chain tooling that we're creating, and that we are scaling that through all of the different on-ramps that are customizing Filecoin for specific verticals as well. Last but not least, focus on that in-network service activity. So both the revenue from on-chain paid deals and just the amount of on-chain activity that's happening, and connecting that to Filecoin economic value accrual. So quick updates across the board for those. We are definitely seeing Filecoin on-ramps such as Ramo, Akave, Storacha, and others landing major paying clients, which is amazing, and really scaling up their go-to-market efforts and growth. We'll hear some updates from them. Awesome work from these teams. A big chunk of work, and a thing that we are now digging into over the next couple of months, now that we have initial versions of this tooling live on CalibrationNet, is helping bring those storage payments on-chain, because right now they live mostly in off-chain USD contracts. Now let's bring them into on-chain USDFC contracts. There's also a lot of tooling that's been launched here over just the last month or two around having hot storage payments and on-chain payments, so that we can use stable coins, we can do this just in time, and we can be scaling these services. So progress being made, still a chunk of work left to go here to get this metric moving in the right direction. In terms of client growth, again, on-ramps are pushing into awesome new areas. You'll hear some updates, I believe, from Storacha and Akave and Recall about exactly how they're doing this, but all of these groups are absolutely super powering the amount of client growth and adoption in their specific verticals, reaching Blue Sky users, Telegram users, AI agents directly to host their intelligence, and large-scale media and enterprise users like the Defiant. So awesome to see that going forward. Again, making sure that we have good on-chain visibility into how those on-ramps are growing. As you can see in our handy-dandy on-ramp dashboard, this growth is not hitting the on-chain metrics that we expect it to. And so that's a thing for us to continue pushing on to see how and why these things might not be accelerating in the way we expect. Last but not least, we have a lot of work in progress around in-network activity and value creation. And so we have USDFC now live in the Filecoin network. We have a value accrual mechanism for fill service use, which is live in the network. And the focus here is driving on-chain payments, and in the next 6 months or so, doing an MVP for L1 and L2 value accrual, or rewards for on-ramps that bring highly valuable business into the Filecoin economy. And so those are the two areas of focus that came out of the PhilDev Summit. And with that, I'll hand over to Orion to tell us about the NV25 release last month.
Thank you, Molly. Yeah, so the NV25 upgrade in Filecoin happened approximately like 1.5 months ago. So I think it's a good time to see how some of the changes and effects in the network has changed since that time. One of the major changes in this network upgrade was the removal of batch balancer with FIP 100. Which makes aggregation always make sense for SPs. And that is great because that saves SPs a lot of money with regards to gas usage. It also has the benefit of reducing the base fee in the network. So if you take a look at the chart to the right there, you see a red line that marks the network 25 upgrade date. And then from that period of time, we've seen the aggregation usage rise, which is the gray line there. And we've also seen like the usage of batching sectors slow down, which is great. We ideally want the green line to go as slow as possible because that means we free up more chain bandwidth in the network, which allows for a higher sector onboarding. If we take a look at the gas usage per sector, there's definitely a ton of money for SPs to save here. And we see in general, like almost half the usage of gas per sector for SPs that are aggregating their sectors compared to batching their sectors. So if you know any SPs, make sure that they aggregate. We have shipped a article this week, I think, for how SPs can make sure that they're aggregating properly. With this network upgrade, we also activated fast finality, F3. It came about 2 weeks later after the NV25 upgrade, and this has brought down the finalization times in Filecoin to between 2.5 to 5 minutes, which is down from 900 epochs. It is a huge accomplishment. It's been a very long road to mainnet, but it's finally here. We've also shipped F3 aware APIs, which enables fast finality for exchanges and RPC providers and builders. We're currently wrapping up some of the F3 efforts with some cleanups and also helping onboard RPC providers and exchanges to take advantage of this faster finality time so that they can have a smoother user experience for example, sending your Filecoin to exchanges, and they will be there in just a couple of minutes. So yeah, that was NV25.
2.5 to 5 minutes, still pretty good. Room for improvement, but still awesome. Great to see that landing. All right, I think Marta asked me to grab this so that people with voices are speaking and people who need voice saving are not. So I'll take a pass. In terms of some Filecoin Plus updates, Spark is moving to HTTP only retrievability, which you can see visualized on DataCap stats. Client reports are live, and you can see now alerts for when they're getting allocations from multiple allocators or information about data type. You can also filter the compliance metrics by data type and see a breakdown of SPs in each compliance group of how they're performing or complying with different allocator data cap requirements. There's also some more information about clients receiving DC from multiple different allocators and tracking the speed of allocation to make this process faster over time. So those are now live in allocator reports as well. Going forward, we're going to add the metric around time to first deal on datacapstats.io so we can see what the latency is of working with the Filecoin Plus program. There's a new round robin allocator where you can get data cap to deploy randomly to any of the storage providers participating in that system very smoothly and quickly. There's also an alert system for changes to actor behavior, an on-ramp meta allocator, which is saving a lot of time for kind of the entire Filecoin Plus operational side of things. And round 6 of allocator applications are open for the next 6 weeks. So if you would like to become an allocator, apply there and look at the new standards for data preparation as they come out to try and make more open data and tooling be able to run on top of data that's been stored and with different Filecoin storage providers. So we can have things like reusable little widgets or explorers for exploring Filecoin stored data. All right, Elsa, tell us what's up with PhilDev Summit.
Hi, I'm Elsa with Filecoin Foundation's events team. We had a really impactful week in Toronto, which included FDS 6. There was a total of 110 attendees. We had 6 tracks, which totaled 30 plus workshops over the course of 2 days. If you missed it, don't worry, our recap blog came out this morning. There you can find high-level key takeaways, insights, and what's next. We also launched Maple AI at the event, where you can find notes and action items from each workshop, and more to come, but we're creating a Notion doc which will have more in-depth notes and action items and DRIs with priorities within it. So be on the lookout for that. And mark your calendars for what's next. Filecoin plans on hosting and sponsoring investor-focused events around Token 2049 Singapore. So if you plan to be there, please let me know. And then, of course, we are planning to activate around DevConnect in November with FDS 7 and an announcements-driven event. But more to come. Please let me know if you have any questions, and that's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Elsa. Get excited, everyone. If you haven't been to Argentina, it's beautiful. And I highly recommend spending some time to hop over to Patagonia before, after, both in order to see some of the natural beauty down there. All right, Jamie, tell us what's up with Storacha.
Hey, before I do that, just want to give a quick high-level overview of Storacha. So Storacha is a hot data storage solution. It's a layer 2 of Filecoin using IPFS for all of our content, so it's content addressed. Yeah, and happy to go ahead and jump into the update. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And to give an overview, so we have our TG mini app. We've launched it for internal beta testing, and we're hoping to launch it for more people to try very soon. It's the only app on the market for securely backing up your Telegram. And this is really great because I don't know if any of you are aware, but someone can hack your Telegram and delete it, and then you can never recover it. So this is a great solution to have your Telegram fully backed up, and you can restore it, you can see past messages, etc. And we're just really stoked to get it out there and have people sign up. Also, Blue Sky Backup. PS, thank you PLDG for all your work on this. For Blue Sky Backup app, we are launching our Blue Sky Backup app where you can back up your entire Blue Sky as well as identity management tool. You can use bsky.storage and start making hourly backups of your Blue Sky data and install a recovery key so you can ensure that you can always gain control of your Blue Sky identity, even if Blue Sky is sold to an evil billionaire. But there's more. bsky.storage talks directly to @protocol, which means it also backs any data you create to any @proto app. So not just Blue Sky. You can use this to try out other apps that are built on @protocol as well. So I'm going to share a link in the chat and feel free to give it a shot. And if you encounter anything, like you need assistance, please drop into our Discord and let us know. Happy to help with that. Okay, next thing, warm storage. It's coming soon. We're excited to tell you more, but we're working on it and excited to give a better update for next time. Also related to LIP protocol, we're experimenting with LIP protocol for data privacy and encryption, and we're using PKPs so that users do not need to manage or hold private keys themselves. So we've been working on that. We kind of paused it a little bit to work on other things, but we're back at it. And then also just wrapping up, we have launched our MCP storage server, and this allows AI models and agents to store and retrieve content address data directly on Storacha. Pretty cool, allows multi-agents to share information, etc. So that's our update.
All right, everyone go and start backing up your Blue Sky data to Storacha. Great start. Akave, tell us what's new with you guys.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you guys. We are exactly 1 year old, which is something we celebrated in Toronto. And we've been focusing on expanding the Akave S3 functionality, so the S3 compatible API, functionality. So we've added a few features. This is all on request by customers. There's actually a blog, CTO blog. You actually see my interview with Clara, which was fun, on the right. And then also, we also released our MCP server. Definitely really cool to finally engage with an Akave bucket and connect it to your Claude or your Olama. And actually, we're doing a workshop. If you're in Prague, we're actually presenting and demonstrating that to builders, and we'll also participate in the hackathon with Protocol team and Protocol Labs and Filecoin team. Super excited. And we have a new website coming out because some of the feedback we received has been that, oh, you need to separate Akave Network from Akave Cloud, where Akave Cloud is very focused on enterprise messaging. That will be released next week. And as we are expanding more applications in our ecosystem, I wanted to show where we are right now. So we have our clone working that allows customers to easily migrate from the cloud. Remember, our stakeholders are Web2 enterprises and deepen networks that are currently storing data in centralized clouds. And so we've allowed them now to migrate easily with existing tools. We're expanding. We're actually testing more tools now. You can chat. We already have Snowflake, and you can also stream with the VLC media player. And we have an Explorer where you can see all the transactions on chain, so you have full transparency. That was it. More to come next month.
All right, Randamu, Eric, tell us what's new in DRAND land.
Hey, Molly. Thanks so much for having me. So if you go to the next slide for me, we've got a bunch of fun updates. The company Randamu was selected as a finalist in the Consensus 2025 Toronto Pitch Fest. So we were very honored and surprised by that wonderful designation. We didn't quite win, but we were selected in the top 5 among hundreds of different competitors, some of whom are in the room with us today. Won't name any names, but the fact is we were really delighted and excited to be on the main stage. And so there's a little link there to an interview that I did just prior to the conference. Also, we wanted to announce we have a Chainlink migration guide. So for those developers out there who are sick and tired of paying extortionate rates to Chainlink, we have an alternative for you, and it's get your randomness from the Decipher network. So click on that link to learn more about how you can migrate away from Chainlink and over to Decipher to save money and have a more robust and decentralized infrastructure. Speaking of Decipher, we've got tremendous traction and new updates there, including launching on multiple chains. We've got 3 different Ethereum L2 testnets, including Base, Optimism, and Arbitrum. And so we're working on getting those from testnet onto mainnet. Meanwhile, we are live on mainnet at Polygon, and we have some more testnet stuff going on with Avalanche and Say. And then, of course, recently launched on Filecoin mainnet as well. So very excited about that. I've got some links to our network docs there. So for any developers that are interested in taking advantage of either verifiable randomness or some of our many new conditional encryption primitives, we would love your feedback, love to get your feet wet and try it out. And so that's what the link to the doc there is for. Another change since our last update, we completed and published our tokenomics white paper in the last EngRes All Hands. That was still in a draft form, but that has since been posted to our homepage on the website. And I've also got a link there for you for those of you interested in the tokenomics. And then finally, on the pertaining to some of our public goods work with League of Entropy and DRAND, we're very excited to welcome Ideal Labs. They're a very active contributor in the Polkadot ecosystem. So really new dimension to be added to the DRAND and League of Entropy there. They've just joined our testnet, in the process of joining. And then some of you may have heard in our last update that Chengdu University of Information Technology and University of Polytechnica Catalunya both successfully joined our testnet and now are in the process of being promoted to the mainnet. And since we've got a larger organization, we're getting a little bit more detailed in our governance approach. And so we're putting that to a vote. And there's been a lot of debate and questions back and forth to make sure that all of the other members feel good about it and that they're well supported in these 2 organizations. And so we look forward to getting them promoted to the mainnet very soon. And that is the update from us. And if you have any questions or would like to continue the discussion, there's a link at the bottom to our general email, which we'd be happy to engage with you. Thanks so much, Molly.
Epic. Congratulations, Eric. Lots of really amazing updates and great to check out these docs and guides to actually start using Decipher.
Yeah,
Cool.
shoot us a note if you're going to be in Prague or Berlin in the next couple of weeks, because we've got boots on the, I'm not there myself, but we've got boots on the ground there. So happy to engage with you in person if you're going to be in the neighborhood.
Epic. All right. Hack here first. All right, Dan, tell us what's new with Recall. I hear amazing things.
Yeah, so it's recently, so if you're not familiar with Recall, we're a place where agents can join competitions, compete, refine their knowledge, and they can earn from their outputs. So essentially, like what we've been running is we're currently doing our second one. It just kicked off, but we're doing these like short, week-long trading competitions for agents to compete. So first one we did a few weeks ago. We had an agent that within a week's time frame doing like this paper trading setup. They like profit was like 10% or something, which is like obviously different, not, you know, it's all based on market conditions, but what we're doing is over time, like building this sort of reputation for agents to prove they're good at a specific skill. The trading is just the first one, and over time, we're going to add more. And Recall from a tech stack built on IPC, anchored to Filecoin, and then have just like a lot of different application layer things that we're focused on right now to really like bring that experience to users and to agents. So if you're interested in like future competitions, definitely reach out, keep an eye out on our website. What's next? Like we're launching a more like official application. We've been doing some like coded stuff from like a front end application standpoint. So now we're just gonna like launch this whole new thing in the coming weeks. So that'll just make a better like user and developer experience and agent experience overall. And then on like the community side of things, someone mentioned there at Toronto Consensus, we were well, Carson from our team had some great talks. So I met a handful of people there. Yeah, it was, we were at one of the PL events. That was great. And then from the community side of things, Derek, who's not in the call today, but he will be on future calls, is taking over like some of the DevRel activities. So I just want to like give him a spotlight so you can see a new face from next time. But yeah, thanks for me giving an update on Recall. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Great to hear, Dan. And a great opportunity for folks to keep a close eye on these bots and see what sort of new alpha they're generating on a day-by-day, week-by-week basis. Pretty cool. All right, now over to our spotlights, starting with Nikki from Modular Worlds.
Hi, everyone. Super excited to share with you guys that Modular Worlds is kicking off next week on 5th of June. And if you click on the website and if you do a slow scroll, I'm just going to talk through some of the beautiful sections we have up there. We have 11 confirmed partners. One of the logos is missing, but Filecoin, Neuro, Checker Network, Repo, Nouns, Mosaic, WeatherXM, BIOS, Pexi, Flow, and LED Protocol, which is missing, are confirmed sponsors. And then we have a whole bunch of community partners. We have 3 tracks, secure sovereign systems, AI and autonomous infrastructure, and decentralized economies, governance, and science. So super, it's almost like tagged one-to-one to the focus areas of Protocol Labs, except Neurotech. And we have, for the first time ever, we are inviting fresh code as well as existing code in 2 different categories. So if you are someone who has a project sitting somewhere that you really want to find good developers to work on with you, you are welcome to join the hackathon, even if you are not a sponsor. And I really encourage you to bring any good developers that you think would like to build in any of these tracks and really make a change, make a difference to how our internet is shaping up. Please bring them on. You'll be able to join the hackathon by going to our hackathon platform by clicking join and on the website. And you'll be able to find who all have already registered. So we have 6 more days to go, and I think we are at 150 hackers already. And yeah, I'm super excited. You will also be able to find the challenges that have already been posted by some of our sponsors over here. And lastly, if you feel you have a huge community of developers that you would like to give access to or give more information about this hackathon too, and I've also linked a promo kit on my slide. You can reach out to me. We would be happy to have you as a community partner. I'll add a logo of your project to the website, and just give us a shout out on your socials, send a text blurb out on the newsletter, and reach out if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki. Exciting days. All right, Sajal, tell us about researchretreat.org and what's happening here.
Thanks, Molly. Hi, everyone. I'm Sejal. Happy to be here. So we are organizing Impact Evaluator Research Retreat from July 26th to August 10th. As the name suggests, Impact Evaluator, one of the things or the challenges we have seen is it's so hard to determine like what impact a team is creating when you are deciding how to distribute funds. And because of that, how do you reduce the gap between or the time between evaluating a project and rewarding that project, right? So these are the two big things that we will be diving deeper into. I've shared the link of the paper in the chat for anyone to check out. It is anchored in this paper, which is Impact Evaluator. So week 1 would be I just realized that the slide is not showing all the text, but that's fine. So week 1 is going to be unpacking the core of credit assignment, right? How do we define and attribute impact? And the week 2 would be designing the reward loops, right? So how do we identify or sort of determine the impact and fund the project, right? So that will be the focus, and applications are open. So if you're a team that has given out funding, or if you're a team that has also received a funding, or if you're an engineer, researcher, builder, anybody, please consider applying. It's not going to be open for very long. So think of it like maybe just next 1 week. So please apply now. You can also scan the QR code and just directly apply. I will leave my Telegram handle in the chat. Feel free to DM me. Happy to answer any questions regarding the retreat. Accommodation and food, everything is going to be covered. So highly recommend to check this out and join us. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Iceland can be beautiful in the summer. So come and check it out. It's a great place to be. All right, Beth, tell us about Funding the Commons Berlin.
Hey guys, so super excited to see a lot of y'all very soon, alarmingly soon, for how everything is coming together always in these last few weeks. So we will have a really cool kind of unique format this time. So following a really awesome Funding the Commons at Internet Archive in March, we're this time going back to our Infrastructures of Resilience theme from that and expanding on it with a event focused on participatory programming. So what that looks like is in-depth roundtables, workshops, different type of creative activations like speculative fiction writing, all about world building around creating more resilient digital infrastructures, addressing ecological and climate risk, all of the different diverse topics that you see there. And we'll, sorry. We'll also have a really exciting art exhibit featuring 4 artists that I highly encourage you to click on and learn a little bit more about, responding to feedback that people always get really excited about topics and want to have more unconference style open space and self-directed programming, and also mentorship area. And another aspect that we think will be super cool is the Protocol Labs co-working will share the space with us. So it's this Angle Nest venue right between Neukölln and Schöneberg in Berlin. And they will be at the co-working space area of the venue during the 2 days of the conference. And then the following 2 days, they will also take over the space and encourage everyone to come co-work together. If Andrew or anyone involved with organizing that is in here, maybe you want to jump in and share all about that in the channels. And you will also see more information in our link there. So
gorgeous. Well, Berlin this time of year is amazing. So definitely it's going to be a great gathering, and Funding the Commons is always an amazing gathering of humans. So the best humans to go and co-work and mind melt with as we try and solve the world's problems. All right, we are on to our last and final deep dive, right on time. I love that. Sean, coming to us from Edge Esmeralda, tell us about some of the network gatherings that are happening at Edge and in the neurotech realm over the next couple weeks.
Sure, great. So first of all, maybe I'll introduce myself real quick because I'm sort of new to the community here. So I'm Sean Escola. I am, until just last year, I was a professor at Columbia in theoretical neuroscience, which is kind of at the intersection of understanding neural networks in computation in the brain, as well as how neural networks in artificial systems do the amazing things that they do. And I have joined PL to expand our efforts in investing, grant making, and field building in neurotechnology and neuro AI. So we're kind of doing a rollout this summer of our first sort of more official activities, which are centered here in Northern California over the next couple of weeks. It's a little bit ironic because I actually live in Berlin and I will not be at the Berlin event we just heard about, but I will be here in California instead. So the main event that we're organizing is we're calling it the PL Neuro Salon. PL Neuro is like the brand for the neuro activities at PL. And we're doing this invite-only salon that we are bringing together leaders in academia and industry labs like DeepMind and Meta and so forth, as well as funders in the neurotech space and entrepreneurs at neurotech startups and folks that are thinking about startups, as well as government funders and so forth. So really trying to cover the whole ecosystem of people that are interested in these questions and try to get at the core underlying problem, which has like made the field hard to unlock, which is like, how do we have a good enough theory of the way that the brain does computations in order to be able to interface with it through technology. So there's been a lot of increased investment and capital flows and just interest and excitement in building hardware for neural interfaces. But I think one of the things that's missing in the ecosystem is an understanding of, okay, once we have these neural interfaces in place, how do we make sure that we're able to use them for their most transformative potential? So the kinds of medical applications that are the principal target of the companies that are out there, including companies like Neuralink, that I'm sure you've all heard of, but there are many others that NPL has invested in some of them, and we're going to be investing in more. The medical applications are things that are frankly relatively straightforward. So that's like decoding for motor control or decoding for speech from neural activity, or even on the psychiatry side, doing neuromodulation for, say, mood state, which is kind of like a whole, you think of as a whole brain state. The level of sophistication in terms of the understanding of how the brain encodes and processes information is not that high in order to have those technologies work. However, we imagine a future where we're really able to co-process information with machines. And in that future, we will need to have a deeper understanding of how the brain works in order to make those technologies more transformative. So that's kind of the underlying set of questions what I just laid out, that sort of state of the field kind of implies a set of questions that we're going to be tackling at this event and led to who we invited to come and join us and think about these. So the overall, let's see if I can remember off the top of my head, the main three theses that we'll be investigating are, what are the kind of data that we want to collect from the brain in order to get at this understanding that can unlock future technologies? So that's going to be one major theme. Another is like, okay, what is the state of the hardware? I just mentioned that a lot of money has been flowing into this, but are there pieces of the hardware ecosystem in terms of neural interfaces that's missing that need to have additional investment? And then the last is, okay, let's say that you have great hardware. We have a good sense of the kind of data we want to collect. When I say kind of data, by the way, I mean like what tasks should people be performing when we're collecting data? Like should they be walking around in their house doing naturalistic things, or should we be challenging them with specific kinds of cognitive tasks or so forth? But let's assume that you get to that level where you've got good hardware, you've got good data, Now, what do you do with it to try to get insight? So that's kind of the last theme of the salon. So it's going to be very exciting. We have quite an elite list of attendees. I'm pretty excited about that. So that's going to be on the 6th to the 8th of June. And then, and we're doing it, this is a kind of a fun aside, we're doing it at George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch. So we'll all get to hang with little statues of Yoda. And then immediately thereafter, the 8th through the 10th, we're going to have some additional activities at Edge. I'm actually at Edge already. I brought my whole family here, trying to figure it out. Also trying to figure out how to get a toddler to have a 9-hour jet lag recovery. So that we're working on that as well. I'll report back. And what we're going to be doing at Edge is having a bunch of meetings with our founders, as well as some social activities. And then the core is this a grant pitch idea that was actually Molly suggested in a conversation we had a few weeks ago, to try to get some of our salon attendees to stay for Edge. We needed to figure out, and these are all extremely busy people, we wanted to get them to stay. And so we decided we'd have a sort of a new idea, which was like a pitch day for grants. And we're going to let people kind of suggest their budgets, and we'll have, like, as I've been saying, super linear scaling of diligence with budget request size. So small budgets we might be able to put on the spot. Larger budgets are going to take more time. But we'll see what kinds of things come out of that. And we already have, by the way, Molly, I don't know if I told you, we have, I think it's 9 or 10 groups already signed up. 8 of those are from the salon, and 2 others are from just some activity from the Edge community. And I expect those numbers to go up. Our target was to get to about 15. I frankly would be happy if it's a little bit smaller than that, because it's going to be a lot of work. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a lot more to say, so maybe I'll wrap it up there.
Amazing. Cool. Well, if you end up at Edge, we'd love to see you for those gatherings on June 9th. And I think we're going to be hosting a dinner as well. So there'll be some great conversations there, and we'll report back. Awesome. With that, we are at the end of our agenda. So excited about what everyone is doing here. Please don't wait for the future to happen. Let's all build it together. And thank you all. And I'll see you in 2 months for the next gathering.